Hello. Good evening, good night, good morning, wherever the hell you are, whatever time of day it is. I am Enzo. Tales from the Dorkside special announcement, surprise treat for everybody. A free audio commentary track. We are going to try really hard this year to be as stupid as possible. Yeah, I don't know. I got this OBS, and this is kind of a test run, so I'm going to do a audio commentary for one of my favorite films, one of my childhood favorite films growing up since I was a little boy, From Dusk Till Dawn. Written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Robert Rodriguez, starring George Clooney. Yeah, before we get started, I guess let's get you synced up, the viewer, the listener. Obviously, you can just listen to me rant without the movie if you choose. I think we will have abridged versions for the YouTube, maybe some little best bits. I am recording my screen here, my audio, but I think theoretically you should be listening to a only audio commentary track, so it's your job to find the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, streaming or whatever. Hopefully no commercials. That might complicate things. But basically, when I say pause, you're going to pause this commentary track, and you're going to wait for you're going to press play on your From Dusk Till Dawn copy, whatever kind of copy you got, and as soon as the Dimension Films logo disappears, total blackness, back to total blackness, you're going to press play on the commentary track. So basically, again, when I count to 3 and say pause, you're going to pause me, my voice, you're going to press play on your From Dusk Till Dawn copy, and as soon as Dimension Films disappears completely, you're going to press play again on me, and we should be all synced up, and I'll let you know. All right, are you ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, pause. And we're back. You should be seeing the screen. The car. Just car driving. Big truck. Oh. I guess I should stop capturing my desktop audio. That's a no-no. Turn that down. You're probably hearing echoes. All right. Sorry about that. I don't know if anyone's going to pop in this Discord while I'm watching this. So that may happen. But I guess we'll keep this open. All right. So we got subtitles on my screen. I think that's always good. All right. I'm sorry, folks. Why did I pick this movie? Why did I pick From Dusk Till Dawn? Well, goddammit, I saw it in the theaters when I was 10 years old. I grew up in El Paso, Texas. This movie takes place in El Paso. All day long. In case you're wondering if you're synced up or not, Earl should be saying lunch or nothing. Didn't break? All right, whatever. We're going to stop worrying about that. Going to get in the groove. I guess what I'll do is Yeah. Okay. So I guess what I would do if I wanted to make little cuts, little tidbits of this commentary track, I would just have to download the film and sync it up to the commentary audio only. This is a test run, like I said, so I mean, I don't even expect to release this. In fact, if the internet craps out for any fucking reason, or if, this doesn't work for any reason, I'm just going to stop. But yeah, we got Earl Partridge, you know this guy. He was in Kill Bill, playing the same character, one of these Quentin Tarantino multiverse characters. And Earl Bottoms, who, Pete Bottoms, my uncle knows this man. They apparently made a student independent film together in Austin, Texas in the 80s called A Scary Movie. This is before the Marlon Wayans brothers Scary Movie. But I love this idea that like these two guys are just arguing about, Nadine and her, mentally handicapped stepson or, I don't know, son-in-law. Sad. Anyway, I love those kinds of kettleware coffee cups that Pete spits his tobacco in. All right, here we go. Backstory. I'll give you exposition for why I'm watching this. You obviously have seen this movie, I assume before. We got this Earl giving all the backstory about these two bank robbers. One civilian took a lady bank hostage. Yep. Should be heading to the border. Would you bring her right my way? That's right. I wanted to watch this movie because this is a movie I have literally fucking memorized. It's one of those movies that was literally tailor-made for me. I grew up in such a wonderful time to be a 10-year-old boy. You know, when I was 8 years old, an 8-year-old boy, Jurassic Park comes out. I couldn't think of a fucking better movie for an 8-year-old boy to see. All right? Do you think a Jurassic World Dominion has the same effect on an 8-year-old boy that Jurassic Park did? No fucking way. This movie, though, I was just a big film buff. Vampires in Mexico, right down the street from where we live. Let's go, Mom. And here he is, George Clooney. The only time playing someone that isn't, you know, smarmy and handsome and just smooth and suave. This time he's a psychopath. He's cussing, he's raving, he's screaming. He's waving guns in people's faces. He has no trigger discipline whatsoever. But, yeah. Everyone knows the story about how this movie came to be. It's like Quentin Tarantino did Reservoir Dogs, Robert Rodriguez, El Mariachi. They're on the film circuit, independent film circuit, doing all the screenings, the festivals, and Quentin Tarantino's like, yo, I got a documentary about, or I got a movie about Mexican vampires, and, you know, you should check out the script. Rodriguez is like, yeah, I'll look at it. The next day, he calls him back. He's like, yo, I read your script. I'll fucking make that movie tomorrow, man. And they did. And I like how the first half of this movie is like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Second half of this movie is like a Robert Rodriguez movie. It's over the top. You asked me to do my best. The acting is good here. Well, your best better get a hell of a lot fucking better, or you're going to feel a hell of a lot fucking worse. Best line of the movie right here. All right, everybody be cool. You. Cut. Be cool. That unnecessary cut in the face is so good. But yeah. You didn't even realize there was a problem. I don't know. These types of rustic bars with swamp coolers, like you could tell everyone's hot and irritated and sweaty. It's always nice and golden and dirty. This is where I grew up. All right, viewer discretion is advised. It would be so funny if someone did pop into this channel and saw me talking to myself about this movie. Stop. Anyway, you have to understand, in the 90s, I had cool parents. I was watching all kinds of rated R movies growing up. Movies like RoboCop and Aliens and Terminator. These movies were like made for me, literally. Like they had toys, video games. We had all kinds of that stuff. Oh, I love how, yeah, George Clooney's looking like vaguely ethnic in this movie. I don't know, like Mediterranean or something. Who knows? But yeah, it was a magical time, you see, because I used to get rated R movies all the time, rent them, watch them on TV. But my mother, she lied to me. She told me, you can't go see rated R movies until you're 17. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And then it was the movie Wolf, Jack Nicholson. I was in Austin, Texas, visiting my cousin and his mother, my aunt. And yeah, it's like we're going to go to the movies, and it's like we're going to go see Jack Nicholson's Wolf, the werewolf movie. You boys like the Wolf Man? And it's like, yeah, but that movie's rated R. They won't let us in. It's like, yeah, they were. You're with an adult. And my world got turned upside down. I was like, holy shit. And Wolf, that was an okay movie. But that was the first rated R movie I saw in the theaters. And I remember I was blown away because it's like this whole time I'd been lied to. This is like Santa Claus all over again. So I come home from Austin visiting my cousin, and I have news for my mother. Mother, dear. Apparently, there was a misconception. Apparently, you were mistaken. I can see rated R movies, and you will be taking us to rated R movies quite often. And this was one of them. I remember From Dusk Till Dawn came out in the summer of 95 or 90, yeah. And it was just so awesome because I remember taking my friend Richie, and he was blown away. Or was it Pete Landerman? I can't remember. Sorry if I shouldn't say anybody's name. But I remember my little kid friend was definitely like not used to watching these movies, period, let alone in a movie theater. And the whole time I'm getting looked at like, we shouldn't be here. And I'm like, shut up. There's supposed to be vampires in this movie. But yeah, the standard trope of walking with the explosion, acting, not reacting, this is done so much better because it's not in slow motion. There's dialogue. There's just all around not giving a fuckery. And I liked this movie so much as a little kid. I bought this soundtrack on audio cassette. I must have been 10, 11 years old, listening to fucking Tito and Tarantula and whatever else is on this weird, crazy soundtrack. Yeah, and I love this title. This is something Robert Rodriguez needs to bring back, just like title, and then quickly cast, bam, bring it out there. So good. Ernest Liu. And then the font's like constantly changing, and Grammarville did some good stuff. Unknown pills, I assume something to stabilize his mood, because he's a little grouchy, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Kurtzman, the makeup in this movie, I remember blowing me away as a kid. It was just so good. It still is. It's just so over the top. A lot of corn syrup. But yeah, this is exactly where I grew up. This area, what you're looking at, just arid Chihuahua desert, hot and brown. And I loved it. Great food. Out here where I'm at, you got the Tex-Mex. It's not the same. It's like real Mexican food, but covered in ungodly amounts of cheese. This old codger, I wish had been in more films, at least more Quentin Tarantino films. He probably died like right after the shoot, honestly. And I'm also watching this movie on the tiny screen on my OBS when it's like I have a giant fucking monitor above my head. I should watch it up there. God damn you, the monitor. It is going to be very funny when I go back and check this out and check the levels and find out like the audio is all fucked up or my mic wasn't recording or some nonsense. That's going to be worse than if it craps out halfway through and I give up. It's going to be even better if, like, for some reason it goes all great and this commentary is actually hilarious. I start getting on a roll. I start saying shit that's interesting and relevant to what the hell you're watching. You're over here trying to watch a movie, and I'm just babbling about nonsense. But yeah, that would be worse. That was great. Go back, check it out. Oh. Stop recording halfway through, or oh, the audio's all fucked up, or oh, it's 700 gigabytes for some reason. That's something I'm afraid of. How big is this file going to be? It's kind of another test. An hour and a half long commentary. So we've got our bank teller hostage. What is her name again? Plants Don't Talk. You obviously have never seen Audrey 2 from my Little Shop of Horrors musical, my favorite musical. Ugh. You know, George Clooney, it's this movie and Return of the Killer Tomatoes for me. That movie, he's so good in that movie. And he's got a big mullet. His famous pet pig. I don't know what happened to that pet pig, but like, he would always brag about the fact that he had a pet pig named Max. Who gives a shit? Apparently the pig saved him from an earthquake. Okay. You say so. It's pretty good. All the money fits in a briefcase. It's not like, like if they had a giant duffel bag full of money. Standard deal, 30%. Sorry. I love the decor in this motel. I also love motels. I don't like hotels. I like motels. A motel, the door to your room leads directly to the parking lot. All right? A hotel, the door to your room leads to some fucking hallway, and that hallway leads to a lobby. No. Motels are superior. And this is why. Look at the walls. The earthen walls. What the fuck color is this? Baby shit. Giant radiator. Odd painting. Everything is a shade of brown or amber or black. Mr. 44. He's black. Yo, man, my name is Mr. 44, man. You ain't fucking asking me no fucking questions, man. No, I'm sorry. All right. I don't know. It looks like George Clooney had his ears pierced at one point. It seems like everyone had their ears pierced in the 90s. I never did it. And Gloria. Gloria! And Gloria, a lovely, homely-looking woman, I would say. I would describe her. Just a great, she's probably a smoker. But yes, very normal-looking. And the good cop, bad cop routine. Except the good cop is actually a psychopathic rapist. So that's not good. That's not a good cop. Turns out the good cop was the one waving the gun in your face the whole time. Smoked hams. Oh, that sounds good. Smoked ham right now. What did I eat today? I made green chicken chili enchiladas with lots of cheese. And I know some of you are going to think this is some weird white people shit, but yeah, put a little bit of raisins in it with your super spicy salsa verde. It's magical. So magical. Yeah, notice how he sits on the middle of the bed and makes her sit next to him. So, like, he doesn't get... Either that or that bed is extremely tiny and we're not seeing... It's like cut off in the frame. Emma and Pete's Gravy Train. Oh. And it's good that they got cold beer. I'd love to see a restaurant that advertises hot beer. Room temperature, flat, high alcohol beer. Like the kind of beer that's like almost 20% alcohol. They can only sell it to you at certain times of the day. Yeah, they've been told this before, right? This is something that Quentin Tarantino does really well in this movie. Is he makes it like a Stephen King novel, where all the characters, before the boogeyman shows up, we really get to know the characters and what they're doing and what's going on in their life. And these kind of hurdles and shit they're having. These little issues. You know, we've got two families, basically. Two brothers and a hostage, and then we've got this other family. And, yeah, Scott needs to go take a big watery shit from those gravy train tamales that he ate. Guess what? Bethel Baptist. Juliette Lewis. I go back and forth of whether or not she's, like, somewhat attractive or super fucking gorgeous, you know? Like, she's a strange, homely-looking woman, but in a good way. But yeah, I'll tell Ted not to fucking bother me, right? You got a man who's been tested with his faith. Yeah, it's rough. What Jacob and his family have been through. I'm not going to lie, though. I am thinking about those enchiladas again right now. I was like, shit. And the thing is, I'm in the long haul right here. I press play. I press record. We're 21 minutes into it. I can't pause it. I don't want to deal with any of that shit. I don't want to try again. It'd be great if we can knock this whole movie out. I mean, how long is it? It's an hour and 47 minutes long. We only got an hour and a half to go. But I love it. I love it because nostalgia, but it's just so balls to the wall. You're just going to wake up and say, fuck him. And it has a good message. That's the thing. God. Glory to God. Good old God. He's on your side. You know, Jacob has turned his back on God. And the Gecko brothers, well, they're just living miles and miles away from God. Ugh. But, it's only until they go through a real like sin pit, like a literal pit of hell, do they regain their faith. You know, this is a good movie. I'm sorry, I wouldn't say it's a perfect movie. And you know, nothing against Robert Rodriguez, but I do think like how much crazier this movie would have been if Quentin had taken the helm completely. Especially when you consider all the stuff Robert Rodriguez wanted to do with the vampire scenes that got deleted. You know, just too much high concept stuff. And yeah, John Travolta's wife, R.I.P. So beautiful. Kelly Preston? And yeah, even as a kid, I remember thinking, like, what kind of fucking news program is this where they this is not the news. This seems more like hard copy, you know? They start bringing up the death toll. 5 Texas Rangers. It looks like sports scores. Earl McGraw. Well, who's Earl Partridge? Earl Partridge was Magnolia. All right. Gloria Hill. John fucking Saxon. My mother's a werewolf. Surely you've seen that one. The Prisoners of some other world, whatever the fuck that movie was. Oh God. Do you think that law enforcement are taking it personal? Yes. I think that's a safe assumption. Jesus Christ. And you know, he should play George Clooney's dad. You know, I was thinking, like, is that, you know, is that Sergeant Gecko on the manhunt for his own son? There's a plot for you. You got a guy who's like a main law enforcement guy, and his son is a fucking bank robber. And then throw a werewolf in there. There you go. Big Kahuna Burger. Another callback to the Quentin verse. The Tarantino verse. Everything's got to be a fucking multiverse now. Well, Tarantino was doing it first, damn it. And I love how fucking quickly he inhales this hamburger. And watching him eat that cheeseburger always makes me hungry. Makes me want a goddamn double cheeseburger also. Wait, why did I get 3 cheeseburgers? Huh? Now, this is where we suddenly, get the dramatic reveal. And, we understood. We had the hinkling with the mugshot when they talk about how he's a damn violent sex offender. But yeah, can we talk over again about the decor of this motel? It's so perfect. Like, I mean, if you are going to murder someone here, I mean, you might as well. Ew. Yep. George Clooney. It's his best role, for sure. And, the other thing is, a lot of people complain that this movie, I just wish it was about the bank robber stuff because all that stuff is so good. It's like, yeah, it is. But then you throw a bunch of vampires in there in the second half, and it complicates things a little bit. All that backstory, all that exposition, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. And I think that's kind of the point. Who gives a shit where you're from and who we are as strangers when there's 100,000 blood-sucking demons outside trying to kill us? Dad, why are we stopping here? I'm sorry. This is the type of motel I love. I would love to stop in a place like this. Rest the engine. Have a few cold ones. Watch some basic cable on low volume. And just kind of rest the old dogs. Maybe get some flapjacks and some eggs and bacon somewhere. A local diner. Hey, if we stay the night, maybe we'll find a local watering hole. Go, troll, Jesus Christ! I was saying do some karaoke, but goddamn. And you realize he's looking at these people like, that's a pretty nice vehicle I could sneak into Mexico into. Yeah. Ooh. Someone was saying that this scene had traumatized them as a little girl. She was afraid to go to the door at the hotel. She was always afraid if anyone ever asked him for ice. This is why, I mean, everyone's got to be an asshole now. You'd be like, oh, I need an ice bucket. Sure thing, partner. Turn around, gun. This is why now, hey, can I trouble you for an ice? I'm trying to get laid. I need an ice bucket. I'd be like, go talk to management. Go bother that decrepit mummy in the front desk, you silly, giant, four-headed bastard. Take your lot lizard elsewhere. Oh, God. Huh. See, this is another thing. I wouldn't want strangers to put my gun in their mouth. It's like that's my gun. I wouldn't want it to be in some kid's face and you gotta wipe it down later. Unnecessary. Ew. he's not. You think? You think Seth Gecko would have been cool with it if it was just like, yes, this little Chinese boy is my lover? You think he would have been like, oh, that's progressive? I guess we'll take you guys as hostages. just don't be diddling each other. I don't want to talk about the age gap too much. How you guys met, I don't care. I just need to get to Mexico. And this is great because this is like the exact opposite of, natural born killers. Right here, a little bit of that natural born killer's character sneaks out, but like, yeah, normally Juliette Lewis, she excels in playing like bad girls and crazy kind of eccentric girls, but here she's just like a straight up goody two shoes little church going church mouse. She's a sweetheart. She's pure and innocent and young and lovely and dainty and flowery and all those good things that little girls should be. And it's funny because Assault on Precinct 13, the little Scotch shirt, it's kind of similar plot, right? Locked in somewhere, people are trying to get in, bad guys. Anyway. Yeah. I can't trust you that you won't, call the cops within 30 seconds of me leaving. Listen, old man, we can't have anyone call the cops. You all have to come with me. I remember when the movie trailer for this movie came out. I was excited about this movie from day one. It's like they show this trailer and it's just like, here's what I want to ask. I got a yes or no answer, and then it cuts to the Gloria scene. Do you want to live through this? And then it cuts back to Harvey Keitel. Yes, and it looked like when I first saw this movie, I thought it was like George Clooney and this other guy were like a gang of vampire hunters, and they were like going on the offense to hunt vampires. That's what I thought this movie was about. Like, we're on a mission. Do you want to live through it? Vampires everywhere. Dun, dun, dun. The trailer was cool. But then, yeah, you watch the movie, and like right around this point, we're like, 30 minutes into the film, and it's just like, are there actual vampires in this movie? Because I understand we're waiting, but like, there's like no... Usually a movie like this will have a dumb opening scene. That's the thing. You have a dumb opening scene where some other asshole will get killed by a vampire, and then we'll cut to our normal character. So we know the monsters are coming. But in this movie, there's really no, except maybe the font of the title card is a little horror film looking, but there's no warning whatsoever. And it's kind of a shame because I got to tell you, this is one of those movies where you can't go in blind. You can't really go in blind in this movie because it does kind of throw things off when the vampires show up. I remember showing this movie to a lady, and she, I guess, forgot. Because when I describe this film, I definitely say, hey, vampire film. Quentin Tarantino vampire film. That's what I always say. And I don't know. See, she seemed to have forgot. When the vampire showed up, she was literally like, what the fuck is going on? What? Is this for real? It's jarring and stupid. But if you know the vampires are coming, right now you're like on the edge of your seat. You're like, what the hell? By the time the vampires finally show up, you're like, finally! I've been waiting half the movie. Anyway. Acts of God. I guess I'll chime in with a word of dialogue here and there to make sure you guys are still on track. God forbid you're watching this with commercials and you have to like pause. First of all, I don't even think anyone's going to watch this anyway. I mean, how much could you possibly want to know about From Dusk Till Dawn? Let alone my thoughts on From Dusk Till Dawn. Also the fact that I'm in here by myself, just kind of winging it. No crew, no guests, no topics. Yeah, I don't like you very much. But yeah, all this dialogue in the first half is what makes the second half, great. This could have just been, just like Tremors, this is one of those dumb monster movies that's just so much better than it needs to be. Although Tremors is a perfect movie. From Dusk Till Dawn does get a little sloppy in the second half. There's just a lot of fucking random, nonsense. But this, Tremors, yeah, it's perfect. RoboCop is perfect. Return of the Living Dead, perfect. A lot of movies that just hit the nail on the head. They hit the mark. They don't let down. This movie doesn't let down, but there's a lot of like parts where you're like, what? What happened there? The band exploded? I don't understand. Vampires can just blow themselves up somehow? Anyway. Take me to Mexico and my brother won't rape your daughter. When you put it that way, I guess I have to agree. Sure thing. If you break your word, I'll kill all of you. Yep. I remember that got a big laugh in the theater. People... Times were different in the 90s. Fair enough. Oh, dude. Quentin's, you can tell he's like talking to Robert Rodriguez like, gotta get a close-up of the foot, man. Both feet. Especially the little foot wiggling the toes, man. Gotta get it. Also, I love how that's very smooth of him to be like, I guess the main vampire chick can be a super hot babe, played by Salma Hayek, and I guess she could like select me, Richard's character, to dance for, and I guess she could, I don't know, what could she do? I guess she could maybe pour whiskey down her foot and make him suck her toes. Yeah, that'll work. I don't know why I thought of that. You sick little bastard. Look at him. This is what a foot fetish person looks like. I'm sorry, I don't mean to shame anybody who's into feet. There's also some nice attention to detail how Juliette Lewis's hair is all, uncombed and naturally dried. Still looks kind of wet from the pool. We'll talk later. I'm 16, you fucking perv. Ooh. See, when I was a little kid, we'd go party in Mexico all the time. Teenagers, you know what I mean. And we certainly wouldn't cross like out here in the fucking middle of the desert. I don't know where this is. This is not El Paso, the big El Paso checkpoint. They are crossing somewhere past El Paso. It's hard to say. They're still in Texas probably. So they're probably like in between El Paso and Laredo somewhere. But that being said, like when we'd cross when I was a kid, oof, dude, we didn't. First of all, you never drive across because they got dogs and shit. They'll stop you. They'll fucking strip search your car. They got all kinds of shit they'll do. Plus, you've been drinking in Mexico. You can't be behind the car. But if you walk across the bridge, you literally park your car downtown El Paso, walk across a bridge. It's like a 5-minute walk. Boom, you're in Mexico. $10 drinking drown, $2 flaming Dr. Peppers, $10 drinking drawing. You know what that means? You pay $10 is unlimited drinks. You know why? Because this bar is owned by a fucking cartel. It's just a big money laundering operation. Oh yeah, we made $7 million at the bar again. What do you know? Sure sold a lot of beer. But yeah. Do you think Scott's telling the truth? Do you think Scott's right? Like, do you think if they had made it okay? Like, what do you think would have happened if there were no vampires in this movie? I'd like to think that they'd make it to the bar, have a few drinks, and then Carlos would show up, and then they would just part ways. But then out of nowhere, Carlos and Richie would maybe, yeah, it's time to kill the family. And maybe Seth would say something, hey, no, I gave them my word. Carlos is like, hey, man, no witnesses, dog. Cheech Marine playing Carlos and this Border Patrol agent and the door guy. Triple threat. I wish more movies had like one guy playing three characters for no reason. Hey, man, don't you know that bullfights are inhumane? Don't do this right now. Hey. Just my daughter taking a big old dump. Oh, he's not a good liar. He's a good man. He's a good man who's not good at lying. Who? Yeah, I don't know. I think I just like George Clooney a lot more as a bad guy. He's a way better bad boy. I'm going to try a Jolly Rancher or two. Oh my goodness. Oh, remember when I said "Be cool" was the best line in the movie? This is the best line in the movie. We're fucking in Mexico, you little fucking piece of shit. That's the best line of the movie. I like to do blue raspberry and cherry Jolly Ranchers at the same time. He does kind of do a 180 at this moment, and suddenly he's just super chill guy. He's nice. It's taking me back, bro. We're in Mexico. I mean, realistically, it'd only be a matter of time before Richie caused some problem. One of them gets killed. Both of them, who knows? The Gecko brothers seem to be the kind of guys that just attract, problem. All right. Who didn't want to go to this fucking bar? You know what I mean? Like, pink sky, brown mountains, big titties. ZZ Top playing a new song. This is a new song for the movie. Now, here's a little bit of foreshadowing. She's just killing me. I like these two people. These three people over here by the stairs. Stair party, yeah. Chickens have cloacas. Actually. Jesus. Mm-hmm. That's the second one, right? Okay, ramblers, let's get rambling. Okay, drinkers, let's drink hard, right? Oh, holy green screen. I guess that wasn't green screen. Yep, play it cool, guys. Everybody just play it cool. Beat the shit out of the fucking tour guy. Now, this film also has nudity, obviously. Every boy's I remember looking at my friend Richie when we were 10, looking over at him, or was it Pete? I don't remember. His eyes were wide as he's like deer headlights seeing the scene. What? Don't dance on the pool table, please. Or don't play pool on the pool table that people dance on. One of those two rules. Sleaze tequila. They got a big pig head. Carnitas. Whiskey. Marijuana. Tattoos. A cups, B cups, C cups. Big giant demon. See, that's the thing. Is like, there's definitely like a little bit of foreshadowing here with the set design and the music. And that's the other thing that's great is like try to argue your way into your own doom, you know? Like they have many opportunities where they're told not to come in here and they insist that they come in here. And they're going to pay a very hefty price. I am a truck driver. Truckers and bikers only. So these lyrics are pretty good, right? Smoking marijuana, looking for a party. Okay. Shut up, Scott. Scott, act like you've been here before, dude. Best in Mexico. Yeah, right. Like, seriously, best in Mexico. Like, if you just said, yeah, we got some good fucking pork tacos here, I'd believe you. Tell me best in Mexico, I think I'm going to get poisoned. Although, here's a good tip, guys. My favorite Mexican food is a chili relleno. And anytime I go to a Mexican joint, if they don't have a chili relleno, then I'll get a cheeseburger. Because most Mexican joints have a pretty damn good cheeseburger. And you know it's a legit Mexican joint when they put, like, grilled hot dog slices and pickled onions on the cheeseburger and shit like that. It's good. Tom Savini and the other guy, Kurtzman, he's the gore guy, too. They're both gore guys. Godfather of Gore with his cock gun. Stevie Ray Vaughan. He means the Asian girl? That's racist. I remember I had a roommate named Bobby, and he acquired a shitload of money. And it was suddenly like I became his designated driver to strip clubs all the time. And he would just like, we'd walk into the strip club and he'd just give like the first stripper he'd see $100 and be like, take care of my friend. Which basically means like, dance on this dude's lap for like 5 songs. And it's like, dude, you know, let me at least pick the fucking dancer, Jesus Christ, or give me the $100 and I promise, like, let me do a couple here and a couple there. If I took a kid to an arcade, if I took a little kid to an arcade and he was like, here's $20 for the arcade, and I put it all in one game, first game I saw, there, I don't think he'd be too happy with that. He'd be kind of fucking annoyed, honestly, like George Clooney is. Bro. Don't be silly. He gives this big old speech. I would have just been like, don't be silly. Don't be silly, Seth. Football player. Right? She just dances with a Zippo in her hand at all times. That's pretty cool. I like her, even though she destroyed my little domino tower. My domino house. No. Spoilers. Yeah, and I helped you. It's like you won and I helped you. You should be kissing my ass. So please, do me a favor. Don't beat up anybody. We're so close. So then the rest of the movie is them having a good time drinking and waiting for Carlos to show up in a few hours after tonight's delightful musical entertainment. This movie is actually a concert film. It's a musical. Lowly dog. Ay, Dios mío. Pandemonio. Bah. Hubba hubba. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of this stuff in the trailer, thinking this movie was going to be cool. This movie was way cooler than I thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? I like how even all the dancers are watching her. She's the queen bee. But she's not the master vampire because, like, if you killed her, all the other vampires would turn human or die or whatever. Somewhere in this hive, there is a fucking master vampire, right? I'd like to think so. That'd be like a true sequel. Have Juliette Lewis strapped up with another band of random vampire hunters that she's met over the course of several years. And they're going back to the titty twister. And they're going to, this time they're going in through the back entrance. They're going to find whatever the fuck, whatever caused all this. But yeah, she is some kind of master vampire for sure. The idea, I love all the bald vampires with the pointy ears, pointy teeth, glowing eyes, hideous demon monsters. And that is why I like this movie so much. You know, the vampires are not some kind of fucking virus, some nonsense. It's supernatural. They're demons, blood-sucking demons from hell. That's it. It's scarier that way. And also the idea that vampires seduce their prey, you know? They have either hypnotic mind control powers with their eyes, or they just appear beautiful and gorgeous. In this one, it's kind of both. I like the idea of the evil, ugly vampire that just kind of like locks you into a gaze. Quentin Tarantino, you pervert. Look at Juliette Lewis's face. She's so skeeved out. They probably did multiple takes of this, you know? They filmed this for like 45 minutes, you know, of him just doing this for a half an hour to an hour. Look at Juliette Lewis. She's so nervous. All the other guys are just like mouth open. Ew. It's like a waste of whiskey. Yeah, but I gotta say, as soon as they hit the titty twister, this becomes a Robert Rodriguez movie with like a little hints of Quentin Tarantino, whereas like the first half is Quentin Tarantino movie with little hits of Robert Rodriguez. Because you know Robert Rodriguez, he always edits his own movies. What does he say? Chopped, shot, and chopped. Written, directed, and produced, or edited, directed, and produced by fucking Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, I got a thing for the little tiny, the little shorties. Who's she looking at? Like, who is she looking at? Hey, Richie, go get beer. Get back on the clock. It's time for work. Oh. Seems there are consequences for your actions. Woo! Honestly, I'd be glad it's the same hand and not like the other hand who that'd be worse for sure. Having two hands fucked up as opposed to a hand getting fucked up twice. Yeah. Literally, this is literally the only actual foreshadowing that's like 100% something is weird. Some kind of evidence of some kind of vampire supernatural is this green shit on the knife. That's it. We are literally an hour into the movie. This movie's an hour and 47 minutes long. So technically the vampires show up less than halfway through. Jesus Christ. That is great. But I guess rather than have like an hour and a half long movie with like 20 minutes of vampire footage peppered throughout the film, we have an hour straight movie and then 45 minutes of straight vampires. So that is pretty good. But yeah, literally, it's like 2/3. Okay. This is like really, if you were walking in blind right now, you were so confused. What the fuck? I don't think your words would be, Richie, look out. You'd be like, whoa, Richie, look at what the fuck? And here we go. The Fountain of Blood. This is immediately where you realize, like, okay, the movie's changed completely. And the music score, that fucking nasty fucking trumpet slash, bagpipe sting? That was so good. Classic horror movie. And yeah, that's it. He's dead. The fucking bitch. Honestly, it's kind of fitting that a woman would kill him. Let's be real. But hey, it's like this is what happens, Seth, when you're just beating people up, being reckless. Goddamn Tom Savini's face back there. There are consequences for your actions, man. You can't just be going through life like a heathen. That's the thing. These people in this bar, they thought they were bad motherfuckers. They don't even know. Like, you think you're a bad guy because you kill people, because you rob people. These are literal demons from hell. They don't. This is not the same. You're talking about torturing for pleasure and hedonistic, masochistic sadism, masochism. My favorite was Demon Knight. Just this movie too also has Demon Knight vibes, but the idea is like, yeah, they're not just vampires that suck your blood. They're also evil. They'll lie to you and trick you to get your blood, They'll deceive you. They'll tell you things like, oh, I'm going to let you go. Don't worry. Or, hey, I'm just your husband. I promise I won't hurt you. They have no problem lying to you, deceiving you. They have no problem. Yeah, just give me what I want and I'll let you go. No big deal. Oh, yeah, by the way, I lied. Eat you. I suck. So good. Sugar glass. You shouldn't be using the sugar glass bottles, boy. But yeah, see, this right here would also terrify me. This would be the worst part right here. Because, like, you'd be like, holy shit, that worked? Like, you would be just grappling with the fact that that worked. Like, running a wooden stake through someone's heart and that killing them, it's like, yeah, that would kill most people. But like the idea that I put a fucking my rosary into your mouth and it disfigured you or killed you, it's like, whoa. This is definitely like supernatural, and you're also confirming like the existence of God and stuff. The Jehovah God, you know? All this, you're grappling with the existence of heaven and hell, and this is a lot to absorb. It's not just the fact that you're being attacked by vampires. It's the fact that vampires exist, and therefore so does, Jesus Christ. It's terrifying. That's probably like one of the best looking vampire bitches right there. The one that just got killed. Best looking, I mean, like, not attractive. I mean, she just looks like a great vampire. Just pale eyes, big teeth. This shit's like on another level, though. The deformity, the vampires that get progressively more and more strange looking and bizarre. I assume that's what happens when you get older, We're talking about 200-year-old vampires. They get ugly. Your fingernails and your hair, your ears, your nose, it never stops growing. All right, now the movie has suddenly like turned to 180. The score from now on is just nothing but like awesome suspense strings and like ambient like horns. It's very good. Ugh. Death by Chandelier. And then, yeah, probably the worst special effect in the movie, but, whatever. And the fact that they had green blood, like whatever, I assume that was to get rid of the censors. I'd like to see a movie where the vampires have like, it's like red blood, but it's dark. It's like black. It looks almost black, almost like chocolate syrup. Monkey Man. Say to me first. Now, this is one of those parts I was talking about where you're kind of like, what the? Excuse me? And he's got tiny little thin fangs. His fangs are like little... I also like, just like right now, there's like other vampires just like gorging on other bikers and truckers, and these guys are just kind of having their own little adventure right now in the middle of all this shit. This movie does kind of drop the ball with kind of like, this is why it's not a perfect film. And then Tom Savini just shows up with this little pencil. Literally, sorry. Tom Savini is a god amongst men. I'm sorry. Here we go, the Mexican standoff. There was going to be like a whole backstory with what the fuck is going on with that woman's stomach. I thought that originally it was just like, I don't know, someone fucking defended themselves and, I don't know, she's just got a big gaping wound in her stomach, no big deal. But actually, no, that's like some kind of mouth. See teeth? She literally eats people from it. Deleted scene. But yeah, it's just like, where was this bitch hiding? And you got the Leatherface girl. And you get the girl who closed the door. A nice cast of very rich characters. There's your Robert Rodriguez fadeaway shot, walk-away shot, taken directly from Desperado and a couple other movies. Aren't they supposed to burn up or something? Yeah, how convenient. I loved Innocent Blood when the vampires get exposed to sunlight and they turn into like hot embers, hot wood. Like they look like hot charcoal. They're like burning with like glowing like embers and shit. It was so good. Uh-oh. So this is what vampires can just blow themselves up like did the drummer have a button back there? I don't understand that part. And that's very funny, grabbing that one torso and just kind of tossing it like a pillow. I'd like to think a torso is a little heavier than that. Now let's see. I hope we don't have some technical difficulties because it looks like we've been running smoothly this whole time. We're an hour and 11 minutes in. We're about to get to the third act. And, yeah. I hope that nothing breaks. Internet lagging. Oh! Yeah. And he is a fucking Frankenberry looking motherfucker in this movie. I don't, he looks like Tom Noonan in the Monster Squad movie. He'll kill us all. This actually looks like my old keyboard player, Russ. No, not Russell. Ugh, probably good not to use your, snub nose as a hammer. Yeah, and for some reason, all the sound effects right now have like this weird echo, like in the movie. This is like something I always remembered is like all the sound effects have this like strange. I guess they did it in post. Yeah, and I guess watching this again, I guess I never realized how hammered he's getting. He had like several fucking shots of whiskey. And then he just killed his brother and a bunch of other vampires, and now he's drinking one other shot, another big double, two other big shots. These are doubles, I would say. Well, we sipped that one. But yeah, you're talking like 6 or 7 shots of whiskey? Look at his face. He's just he's feeling it. He's vibing. Oh, no, he's poured it up another one. That's a third one. He's like... He might get to double digits. But yeah, I would be saying the same thing Harvey Keitel's saying right here. It's like, bro, you can't be getting shit-faced. Like, you've had enough. Like, I understand you're getting a drink to take the edge off, but, like, you are now becoming, like, can't drive home territory. See, and that's strange that he just knows that it's bats, but whatever. Okay, we'll allow it. George Clooney's just like, he's not a Gary Stu, which is the male equivalent of a Mary Sue. He does have some flaws, Mostly his brother was like a big flaw. You're keeping him around and loving him. But now that he's dead, but he is drunk now. I don't think they really hammer that idea for the rest of this movie, like how wasted he should be. He should be like firing the gun at vampires and like missing. Oh yeah, get real life amputees. They need work too. They like to be extras in movies. Guys with no legs. Of course, the most famous extra with no legs was in the movie Kids. I have no legs. I have no legs. I have no legs. That fucking scene is like one of those goddamn scenes that haunts me. It's like Gumo and all those other stupid movies that guy made. Yep. See, that's cool. Stab him in the heart. He lights on fire. I like the idea that you stab a vampire in the heart and then they're paralyzed. So this is where you get to cut their head off and drag them out into the sunlight. But if you can stab a wooden stake or an iron stake into their heart, they are now like still. They become like a statue. And that's the other thing. When vampires, like, this is great. Like, these vampires are demons. But I like it more like when they're more like, more necro-based. Like, they're more like undead. They're the living dead. They are, like, how can I describe this? Like when you go to bed, like, you are asleep, you wake up, your waking life is your actual state, right? And then at night, you get tired and you close your eyes and you fall asleep and you drift off into the dream world, which, you know, is basically the in-between world between ours and, like, the world that the vampire comes from. Because the vampire is not from the realm of the living. The vampire is from, you know, whatever you want to call it, hell, the dark dimension, whatever happens after we're dying or before we're born. Vampires come from that area. And, you know, they're proof of, you know, that not everything is all fine and dandy in that plane of existence. But yeah, the idea is the vampire, during its normal state, it is a corpse. This is a corpse during the day, and it goes and crawls into a coffin, and it goes to, technically, to sleep. It doesn't really go to sleep. I think it's just back to being like a dead body. But it can wake up, you know, who knows? It can move. But the idea is, like, yeah, at night, the dead creature reanimates, and then it walks around and starts, you know, sucking blood and stuff. This is one of the better monologues of all time. I don't want to hear any fucking, I believe in my two eyes. I remember this getting a big laugh in the theater. Yep. This whole scene is just a great moment for everyone to take a breath, kind of collect what the fuck's going on, talk about what the fuck's going on. You've just witnessed a lot of crazy shit. This movie has done a total 180. Here we go. Peter Cushing crosses. But see, some people think it has to be a literal crucifix, you know, with Jesus on it. But also I like the Fright Night rules where, you know, the crucifix means nothing. It's your faith. You have to have faith for it to work. Holy water, silver. No, silver's expensive, so who cares? Vampires can't cross running water. There's a lot of stupid ones. Vampire, you know, they can't, you know, the idea that they can't cross into your threshold unless they're invited. That's actually a good one. But once they're invited, they can come and go as they please. That's not cool. Vampires can't walk on hallowed ground, consecrated ground. Vampires, I like the idea that they don't eat or drink food. They can't. They don't want to. Things of earthly pleasures are of no desire to them. Like, they're not like you or me or dogs or cats or plants or mushrooms or any other living creature. They are not alive. They're vampires. And as far as God's concerned, we're all pieces of shit. But this guy's a preacher. He's our weapon. These goddamn vampires are creatures from hell. And if hell is real... Yeah. I don't know. This reminds me of, you know, something my mother would tell me is like, God doesn't want us to be afraid. God wants us to be brave. You know, why does God do terrible things? Because God wants us to handle them. God wants us to take these terrible things in stride. God wants us to grow and learn from them. You know, why does God give us all these obstacles and enemies? Because God wants us to conquer them without fear. without you know, when God is on your side, you know, you don't have to be afraid. Basically, that's what George Clooney's telling this guy. You know, with you on our side, we will turn the tables. You know, if we have God helping us, that's the thing. Is if God's on your side, if God's on your side, there's nothing stopping you. So you have no reason to be afraid. You can take your problems headstrong, brave, confident that you'll come out okay. And 99.9% of the time you will be. So he's a mean mum servant of God. Right? Oh, little Scott in the background nodding his head. But yeah, Sex Machine, he's the kind of guy. Get bit, not say anything. You know, it's one of those things where you should say something, but just be like, hey, don't kill me. Hey, you know, let's keep an eye on it. Or maybe let's try cutting my arm off. Who fucking knows? But also, I don't like the idea of vampires spreading by bites. That's retarded. I don't like this idea. I mean, this movie, the vampires, you know, they are more like some kind of contagious demon plague. You know, it's more like Evil Dead. Because vampires, you know, you got to drink a vampire's blood to become a vampire. And I don't think vampires would want more vampires. Maybe like once in a while. But I don't think it'd go well. I think your best, oldest vampires would be the ones that would be riding solo for a long time. This idea that like, oh, they're just going to turn me into a vampire and I'll be his friend. No. Vampire, you know. This is a giant vampire nest, what we have from Dusk Till Dawn. These are like a different... These Mexican vampires, they work in like a hive mind mentality, they seem. You know, for the good of the colony, you know, whatever. Whereas, yeah, they also don't mind. It's very like communistic almost, like the willingness to sacrifice themselves willy-nilly, blow themselves up, chuck themselves into suicide missions. It's like to die is to simply go back to hell where they're from, you know? It's not a big deal to them, I guess. But yeah, they're like some kind of, they're like demonic spirits that plague people. Yeah, and you basically turn into a vampire right away, too. That was the other thing, is like, most movies, it's like, oh, you drink vampire blood, you feel weird, and it happens slowly over the course of a few days. You start changing, you know? But this shit, I remember this movie just took it to a whole nother level. It's like, no, this guy becomes a vampire, he becomes a vampire. It's Night of the Living Dead, but with vampires. There's that weird fucking statue at the bar again. Hubcaps on the stage, all over the bar, all over the place. Yellowfin. Yellow. Yummy. Here we go. Creepy little fingers. Yeah, Sex Machine's a pretty good looking vampire. Wow. See, I go back and forth. Like, do I like better with vampires with hair or no hair? Damn. Out of focus. Also, that kid was a little far away, but, you know, whatever. It's all fun. It's all fun. This is where the movie's all silly. And, you know, I guess I do kind of agree. Like, the first half of the movie is, you know, excellent. You're riveted. You're constantly wanting to know what's going to happen. Here it's just like, all right, let's just get crazy. Balls to the wall. Yeah, the torches are blowing for no reason. The bats are home. They made it in. You'd think one of those bats would have had a key or something. This back entrance somehow. There's a chimney, maybe. I don't know. Seems like a couple of them could have snuck in. Whatever. Oof. They're gonna. Meanwhile, the vampires are gonna have a big old mosh pit. But yeah, this is to the point where it's like, yeah, too many vampires. You know, like this is getting silly. Like I said, it's to the point where these don't even operate like vampires anymore. These are like some kind of Pteropteran type demon, bat-based demon creature from hell. Related to vampires, obviously. But, you know, when I think of a vampire, I think of fucking Mr. Barlow. You know, from Salem's Lot. He can turn into mist, turn into fog, turn into smoke, turn into bats or wolf. Ugh. Like, this would be this is like a good sequel. Like, the first movie, you have one vampire that's just tearing shit up. And then the second movie, you have a ton of vampires. There you go. Get crazy with it. But yeah, this is silly, obviously. This is what the fucking... But, I mean, the idea is like, it's probably not even killing those vampires. They're probably just getting right back up. Like, damn. I'm sure taking Mr. Barlow, a shotgun to him, it wouldn't kill him, but it definitely, like, knock him on his ass and piss him off. I do like in the Monster Squad movie when they fire at Dracula, it's like as if the bullets are passing, like, right through him, like he's a ghost, like he's a hologram. He just kind of looks at you like, stop that. Like, his clothes don't even react to the bullets. Like, that's spooky. I also like Mr. Barlow, this kind of like Nosferatu, like wearing just like some kind of black, shapeless robe or cloak. It's like you can't even tell what he's wearing. It's like he's wearing like some kind of, it's like he's just like a living, like a shadow monster. Imagine like a living shadow with like a head and hands attached to it. The cloak is like some kind of shape changing, it's almost like a fluid. Is it a coat? Is it a robe? Here we go. All the shipments of the trucks. Still not a lot. And it's like these are trucks moving in from Mexico too. Across the border. So it's not like, there's not going to be any trucks full of like crazy drugs or weapons, like guns and stuff. It's okay. These guys make do. Every good action movie has one of these scenes. It's like a montage of like armoring up, preparing your weapons, like Commando, Predator. You've got the scene where the guy's putting the face paint on, loading all the guns, selecting the weapons, arming the traps, preparing for the battle. It's coming. The conflict is coming, and there's nothing we can do about it. If we want to live, we have to kill. But these are undead monsters from hell, so, and they have green blood. So we still get to, we don't get the X rating. Yeah. And yeah, having a priest bless you, it can't hurt. It's like in Warhammer. I just started falling down the Warhammer lore, and there's just such cool imagery of like these giant 9-foot-tall space marines with grenade guns and your standard like space warfare, super violent stuff. Except there's like priests and clergymen everywhere, like blessing everything, super like religious to the point of like Spanish Inquisition levels. I don't believe you at all. I remember this part of the movie the first time I saw this. And keep in mind, I've seen this movie 100 times. I have this movie memorized. But I still remember what it was like watching it in theater, you know? I remember my mom getting nasty looks at us when we were walking out of theater. But here's the thing. It's like I wasn't like freaking out and screaming. I wasn't being disruptive. I was a good little boy. Okay, I saw the movie. I remember being like, wow. I know people were probably distracted that there's like a 10-year-old boy sitting next to us, but, you know, whatever. But I remember this scene specifically was very intense. This is probably the most intense scene in the whole movie, honestly. And here I am, chattering like a goddamn monkey in a tree, ruining it. I don't know why I'm doing this. Seeing if this will be something fun to do. Obviously, next time we do this, we'll have a guest and, you know, not just pick some random movie. But we'll see. I will probably take this video and make some little snippets of it and see if people are interested in listening to the whole thing. I'm sure somewhere in this movie I've said at least a few 5 minutes of funny shit, right? Right? This vampire in the front here with the droopy nose. It looked like a teacher I had. This one right there on the left, on the right. There she is. We'll get a good close-up of her in a minute. Yeah, shut the door. Might as well. Won't hurt. This one. And then I like that bearded one in the background. Some of these really stand out compared to the others. Yeah, Beardo. The bat one. All the bat-looking ones. Like extra batty. This one sucks. He looked like a hobbit creature. Lord of the Rings. This one. Loved it. Bat creature. Yeah, that's a different take on a vampire. It's more of a zombie-looking thing. I like it, though. The designs are very wild. Now, all this stuff, the vampires just basically do a little dance. That's what they're doing. They just do a little hand dance at you. Oh, I'm doing a dance. Doing a dance. Like, these guys would not stand a fucking chance. I'm sorry. It is silly. But I guess maybe the idea that they are blessed. Maybe that's the MacGuffin. Maybe that's the reasoning, you know? They have God on their side. This is why the demons do the little dance. They can't really touch you. It's like, oh yeah, it's the spell. You know, you have I don't know, vulnerable spots. I don't get it. There's a lot of, like I said, a lot of what the fuck in this movie. Here we go. Slide down the wall. Why not? Sex machine. Yeah, and then all these vampires, what are they doing? They're just running around fighting each other with sticks. It makes no sense what they're doing. God damn, does anyone ever mop in the titty twister? Have they ever fucking swept this place? Ever? They got a bartender and a bouncer and a doorman. Do they have a custodian? Christ. Look at the floor, man. Like, I would not eat the food if you dropped it here. You know usually the 5-second rule stands. This is one of those bars. No. And this is pretty much where the movie basically goes batshit 60 crazy, 160 degrees, 160 miles an hour. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The guy just turned into a fucking giant rat. What do you want me to say here? What do you want? Blood? There's plenty of it. The guy turned into a rat. Like, I remember my mother was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, what are we watching? What is happening? Here we go. And then George Clooney really shows off his his lower leg strength. Damn. That was some distance. And yeah, it explodes. Sure, why not? I love this. Hey, what up? Oh, here's a cross. Oh, don't give me that shit, motherfucker. He's like, I don't need time for that. And yeah, ram a shotgun through a guy's belly. And his spine, I guess. His spine's back there, too. Jesus. Ethel. No. Murray. Damn. No, not Chauncey. Chauncey was my favorite. I can't live without my Chauncey. Yeah, okay, I don't understand. He turns into shit. I don't understand a lot of this movie, and I love it. I think I love it because I don't understand it. Oh, he can't. They're just too beautiful. Yeesh. Yeah, I guess, you know what? Holy crap, you know what I'm thinking? I was like, I think they really are blessed by the father. And this is why Scott gets killed because he has a moment of vulnerability right here. But it's like, yeah, it seemed like the whole time, like right now, like Juliette Lewis, George Clooney, they're all under some kind of like protection where the vampires cannot attack them. But right here, for some reason, because he killed his father, I guess the protection is lifted and they all just get him at once. This is kind of suddenly, I'm kind of trying to make it make sense. I don't know. But I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm bullshitting here. But yeah, this part was always extra brutal. And I always assumed that she shot maybe the holy water balloon and it works like a grenade and blows them all up. But I think it's more like metaphorical, you know? You're like, you shoot your brother, you're basically, you're killing your whole family right here. This is it. It's over. Your life has changed forever. And now the other vampires just explode too, because why not? There's no going back from this day. Nothing will ever be the same after this. Ever. Period. This movie should get a sequel, for fuck's sake. A proper sequel. Not some random sequel about other people. Like, stop focusing on the titty twister. Focus on Juliette Lewis and Seth Gecko. 20 years later, I tracked you down, Seth. I got the blueprints for the fucking place. I know who built the bar. We gotta go back. We gotta go back. I know you think about the titty twister. I know you fucking... That's why you're still in Mexico, Seth. That's why we have to go. I'm getting myself excited about it. Seriously. That'd be good. Yeah, I don't know. I just got vampires on the brain. I'm going to be working on a vampire graphic novel. It's another reason why I'm starting to do these commentaries and other YouTube stuff. I'm going to start promoting that at the end of the year. Launch a fundraiser, crowdfunder, whatever the fuck it's called. Indie starter, kick go, something. Carlos, finally, you are here a little late. Yeah, I do like the idea that just like, bam, you get hit in the vitals, the sunlight just, fuck it. These vampires are expendable as hell. This guy, he was in Desperado, the goatee, the baldy. Big fighter guy, remember? You remember. He like broke that dude's legs. Ah! Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have put the disco ball there. I don't know. It seems like, here's the thing. I have a feeling this isn't the first time this happened. You know, it's like that a bullfight. Like sometimes the bull wins. Sometimes the bull loses. I think today the bull lost. Fuck you. And here's some more levity. You know, this movie's very punctuated. 15 minutes of hard action and then like just a good barrel of laughs. And then rinse and repeat. Hey, I fucking never been here. It's Rowdy. What do you want? You said you wanted to go. This is like the best twist ending. We all died for nothing. You know? We all found out God exists for, just for no reason. God confirmed. Today's a big deal. They look like psychos. They were vampires. Thank you. Like, I have a lot to process, you know? Carlos didn't really see. she saw. They all witnessed basically like the opposite of a miracle. Like, what's that called? Like, a miracle's a good thing, but it's like proof of like supernatural, unexplained phenomenon. But like, what's the opposite of like what's an evil miracle? What would you call that? That's what this movie is about. These people witnessed something that was so horrifying. Why did why does he jump himself up 5%? He had already get him to agree to 20. Anyway, sorry. We're wrapping this movie up. I can't believe we just did this. No problem. It seems like this OBS stuff is working. God damn, he's filthy. That's how you know you watched a good movie. When all the main characters are covered in blood and shit and sweat and tears and dirt and smoke, char, glitter, grass, yard trimmings, hair trimmings. And it's funny because it's like this isn't really a lot of money. I don't think that briefcase full of money. It's like, it seems like a lot to like get your brother killed and ruin your life for. I mean, I guess you did break out of prison, so I mean, yeah, I guess you're definitely you've still improved your thing. You give that guy just a couple stacks, you keep all the rest. That's a pretty good deal. You get to live your life on Easy Street in Mexico. And it's like this whole will they or won't they? But it's like, of course they won't. She's a girl. She's a fucking, like, how old is she really? 17? Is she, like, in high school? She's got the RV now, and a dead brother, a dead mother, and a dead father. And he's got a dead brother. He can never go, ugh. I think I've seen this guy in porno movies before. Go home. My RV is the home. Yeah, that's a good t-shirt bumper sticker. Yeah, shake your head to that. That makes no sense at all. I may be a bastard, but I'm not a fucking bastard. What a tower of insight that one. You're just a hooligan. That's the thing, dear. Kate is better off. But yeah, I mean, the big dramatic reveal that behind the fucking titty twister is a gigantic catacomb of supernatural evil. This is, you look at the sequels and the show, and it's just like you're still missing the point of what. If you're going to do a sequel, it's got to be a balls-to-the-wall revenge flick. Turn the tables. The chick, Seth the Gecko, and a handful of others go to the fucking titty twister to kill vampires. And this time, the humans are on the offensive. What is it? What happens? The tables are turned. Now the vampires got the trap. Now it's like the humans are getting picked off one by one by the vampires. It's bad. Seth Gecko could be like the first one to die. Who cares? Anyway, that was fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, I don't know. I assume we'll do this again. I might talk through the rest of the credits. I definitely am going to do commentaries again. Try to get this OBS thing figured out. Try to figure it out to where I can stream, record, do these other things. Anyway, it seems like we're going to have a pretty good schedule this year. Sundays, play some games on Discord. Monday, stream on YouTube. The Tales from the Dorkside podcast that you guys can tune into live or after the fact. And then Tuesdays, I guess we're going to hang in a Discord server, which I may keep private. Just for like a close skeleton crew, people like, the crew, and we can come in and do our thing, watch these dumb movies, get content, because that's the quest for content, I guess. Mostly it's just like, watch these stupid movies with people, I want to watch Tuesday. Sorry, I want to watch this week. We will do a double feature. More vampire movies. The 1990 motion picture. I bought a vampire motorcycle, and then double feature. Follow that up with Vampire Dog from 2012, starring Norm Macdonald. That's as the titular vampire dog voice. Fang, his name is. I have seen Vampire Dog. I have not seen Vampire Motorcycle. But, I think we're going to have a bunch of people come in, watch these movies. I think I'll be recording this stuff just in case anything interesting happens. And, like for this, I could probably, release little tidbits, audio commentary of me talking about little scenes here and there. I'm sure I said some funny shit at some point. And if you guys want, maybe I can just release the audio commentary by itself. We'll see. We got a whole year ahead of us to figure it out. I get to figure out this OBS stuff. I'm also, I have no idea what the sound quality is. So, I assume there was technical difficulties at the beginning where there was the fake sync up, but then also, I guess I'll cut all that out. You probably won't hear that if you're watching this, or maybe I'll release it as is. Fuck it. Also, there's, at the very beginning, I was recording the audio of the movie at the very beginning when the car is running by, so I muted that quickly. So, hopefully that was something that fixed. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. I swear to God, if I was just talking to myself for no reason for an hour and 47 minutes, I'll be upset, to say the least. I mean, right now it's 4:08 a.m., and it's one of those things where tonight is Sunday. We played some Jackbox games, which are basically stupid party games, and I don't know. I just got OBS. I decided to try it out. Just seeing what's going on here. Let me see here. Now, I guess normally what I would do in this situation during these credits is I guess I could, do some transitions or edit the frame, figure out, what I can do with that stuff. But for now, I'm just going to leave it and let this movie play. And I guess I'll wait until the movie's completely over to sign off. But yeah, I mean, stay tuned. Tales from the Dorkside on the Stupenzo YouTube channel. That's me, Enzo. Stupenzo, Stupenzo. I don't know. I'm a little tired. I think the movie did definitely put me in a second wind. I think I might stay up and do some chores. I might eat another one of those enchiladas, to be honest. I did not drink a whole lot of this beverage I have right here. I did make a beverage, a large tumbler full of tequila, and I drank maybe a little less than half of it. I can't really drink a lot if I'm talking. So this is another reason why I need some guests. I don't know. Hopefully this is the beginning of something fun. Again, I'm not really trying to make money doing this specifically. Hopefully this will just kind of raise awareness for the graphic novels I intend to produce, doing the whole Comicsgate routine. You know the method. Anyway, from Dusk Till Dawn, 1995, Quentin Tarantino. Thank you, guys.